What's going on with you guys? Back with another video, Lucas Eternal 777. Let's get it, man. Back in nature with another video, letting you guys know to come outside in nature, just find a chance to get your feet in the ground. Let's ground ourselves back to the earth frequency. And yeah, kind of doing this on the fly. What should we talk about? I'm just gonna let it flow a little bit. This video is gonna just be about, the importance of getting in nature. The importance of getting in nature is that nature is self. And when we come back to self, we come back to our truth. We come back to a more pure perspective, a pure outlook, a different outlook. And just when we do our own thing, coming out here in nature, we just get to come back home to ourselves, So just relax, taking a deep breath, and just recognize everything's always working out for you in the end, Even when it seems like certain things are going on, you just have to really trust yourself, surrender it to God. Tap into God, tap into that frequency, tap into your higher self, and just realize that that message is always there. Sometimes a lot of us feel like our emotions are going out of whack, You're more sensitive to the energies. This is what nature does for us, is it provides us a space for us to really kind of ground our energy. Grounding ourselves is very key. Gets rid of the inflammation, clears our mind. My favorite mantra sometimes to kind of transcend that ego mind is no mind, no problem, right? No mind, no problem. So just remember to really appreciate the present moment. In this video, you got nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. You're just here and we're just being right now, just being present and really just taking it all in, taking in the scenery. We got some swamp, we got some cranes out here, we got some nice wildlife. And I just feel it's important to get back in touch with our roots, get back in touch with our roots. And most importantly, just, take a seat and kind of chill and not take everything so seriously. It's like in the silence is the answer, It's like when we stop chasing, when we stop looking, there it is, When we stop chasing around, looking for this, looking for that, there it is. It always pops up right when you stop chasing it. When we let go of the resistance and just allow that natural process to take place. Shout out to anyone holding on to their seed, semen retention. Stay on the path, stay on the journey, and just like I said, be that which you seek to create. It's not that it's outside of ourselves, but it's really all within. The love, the abundance, the peace, the well-being, the appreciation. It's really all within. It's all inside of us. It's one kind of breakthrough that I'm starting to realize is just let go, This message to someone is let go, trust yourself, trust the process, and don't be so stuck up in your head. Don't be so stuck in your ego and your false character self, misidentifying with the mind and the body and the appearance and thoughts, emotions, beliefs, all these things. So I feel the really end goal of all this is just to get to that self-realization. The whole point of this path, and this is just kind of spilling from my perspective, I don't really know everything. I don't know. I tell myself I know nothing because every day we're dropping, we're letting go of something to let in something new, to let in more truth. Just taking the scenes, getting out here in nature is really just important. Remembering to really take care of your energy, guys, because the key is to really just have a regulated nervous system, Know thyself. One of the most powerful sayings is know thyself, Study your brain. Study your amygdala, what causes anxiety, how this whole system really works, how this advanced piece of God tech really works. And it's like when we live by natural law, we're in harmony to evolve. It's here for us to evolve, and we don't have to really, don't shame yourself. Don't do these old patterns. You can choose right now just to let it go, just to love yourself and just be, just be. Let the action arise naturally. Let that move arise naturally. This is the importance, the Tao Te Ching, Wei Wu Wei. It's kind of like effortless living, doing but non-doing. So remember, no mind, no problem. When we stop thinking, and we just really let ourselves kind of just relax, relax into the moment, relax into ourselves, and just kind of dropping all that funk, kind of dropping all that weight, and just realizing you are nature. You are nature and nature is you. So it's like when we come out here, we connect with ourselves. We connect with our true self. Because sometimes you have to know what you're not to remember what you are, right? But you see, there is no limits, there's no limits to what you can do, you know. Let go of that old self. Because a lot of it is really just the false egoic identity, it's the shadow identity. It's the compulsions, the acting on impulse. Observe your mental, emotional, physical, and energetic faculties. Realize what is taking place and just observe it. Don't let it take you in. See it from a different perspective, but don't allow it to necessarily constrict or contract your energy. Be you. This is a constant journey of really finding yourself. You'll die to yourself 1,000 times before you're finally reborn. Just keep your spine straight, keep your chest out, make sure you're breathing. I'm on a fast today myself, just with some distilled water. Feeling called to go on a fast. And, the biggest tools we can use is just what nature holds for us, these natural holistic alternatives that I really want to preach and kind of just share with you guys, rewiring and reprogramming our DNA, getting rid of the stress, getting rid of the inflammation, whether it's through meditation, whether it's through stretching out, deep breathing, light exercise. I feel like these things is a part of just this way. It's just a part of a way of life, a natural, conscious way of life. Because the solution has always been there. I feel like it's just our mind. We've kind of been hit with amnesia. We were misidentifying, misperceiving, misunderstanding, and just thinking we're just this finite mind and body consciousness. And a download that really hit me is you're not just your body, but you're not the body, but you're the consciousness which this body inhibits. And just when we meditate, we clear all the psychic debris, all the negativity. The key is just to really look at everything outside of you, Everything that's outside of you, you're just awareness of it. You're the pure awareness of it. If there's fire on the screen, you're not going to be burned. And a favorite saying, from R.J. Spina is, whatever you perceive is not you. But anything you perceive is not you. You can heal yourself just by letting go of the identification with it. It's a very strong egoic thing where we, get so locked into our conceptualized belief systems, the finite, linear, rational intellect. Thinking we know it all. The ego thinks it knows shit, but thinking is really a limitation program itself. And I highly recommend picking up Change Your Mind by R.J. Spina. It's been very revolutionary and it's really shifting. It just brings us back to our truth. It brings us back to who we've always been. And listen, my friend, you have no doubts. There's nothing that you can't heal. There's nothing, it's already in you, right? My challenge for you is just to see the healing, see that frequency is already contained inside of you, and bask in that knowing, Go into that self-introspection, go into that self-inquiry, who am I? Who am I that's afraid? Who am I that's doubting? It'll always be me or I do. Who am I? Who am I that's misidentifying with this limited body consciousness? It's like we just have to have the courage to kind of dive deep and kind of look at these things and really just recognize it. You gotta see that this avatar you're in is really just it's the shell of the soul. Your body's really just a reflection of your spirit. Your temple's a reflection of the what really goes in it, the thoughts you think, the behaviors, the actions, our attention, whatever we do with our energy. It's a quick trick that RJ Spina's really taught. Remember, no past, no future. Just got here. You just got here. And I guess sometimes, guys, we're in what we feel is a toxic environment, such as myself. While we're on this awakening, you feel more sensitive to the energies, but see your sensitivity as a superpower. Because if you're aware of something, then you can change it. And if you can be receptive enough to pick up on the subtleties, you can alchemize it. You can feel it and transform it through that feeling state. So just remember, discipline spiritually, really listening to what your body's telling you. Not what your mind's always telling you, but what your body is feeling. Does your body would like to come out to nature? Does your body want to put your feet in the grass, ground yourself? I just feel the wisdom that nature holds is really just magnificent, because it's like it's always been here. This is very primordial, this is very ancient, and it's kind of, the earth is a living library. Having this dormant DNA that could be activated, shifting from a carbon base to a crystalline, seeing the shifts that are taking place in our energy. Everyone is at their own level of consciousness. Everyone's vibrating at their own level. So it's key to have the mindfulness, be gentle with where you are, and just see there's really no rush to it. There's no competition. You'll do your thing at your own time. And you're not to compare yourself to anyone else's journey. It's just from what I can recall is, we come into this life, in this incarnation, we get our memory blanked, of who we really are and our higher self and the greater reality, the totality of what all this really is. Don't base your worth on something outside of yourself. Don't base your worth on something superficial, on whether it's the car, whether it's the clothes. These things are cool. Of course we can have it, we can create it, because God wants us to be spiritually and physically, materially rich, but to an extent, to a certain term of, we gotta keep it righteous. We have to give to receive. We gotta use what God has given us to shine a light on the others. To use our voice, to use your, activate your throat chakra. And I feel to really open up your throat chakra is letting go of the fear, letting go of the lies, getting more vulnerable. There's a lot of vulnerability in being honest with oneself and others. Because how the ego does it, it's like, oh, let's compare, let's bounce off, just false belief-based opinions and beliefs, all these things is, I feel once we get in nature, everything just starts to shift. We just kind of, it's a quiet mind, quiet life. Quiet the mind and just feel what's there. Feel intuitively what is there. Because sometimes the mind is really a shadow. The mind can be a shadow at times. And when you get to a certain state of, self-realization, the self, that's why I love to use this analogy to, the quickest way to meet yourself is to come to nature. Because nature teaches us, the law of non-resistance. It teaches us, the natural elements, the natural flows of life. Just like the water, it is flowing. It's always flowing, And life's always flowing. And I feel the more we just kind of flow with it naturally, holistically, things will start to be a little smoother. You don't have to really stress and fret and do all these things no more, man. Everything's going, you got this. Really, just gotta let go. The hardest thing I feel is when you're on that awakening path and you gotta go through all the unconscious, all the subconscious, all the egoic, false beliefs, the shadow work. It's a process. So remember, you gotta thank yourself for having the courage to really even face it, Be proud of yourself for the little things that you are doing. It's not this societal conditioning, because a lot of us, we base our self-worth based on societal conditioning, based on what's going on all around us, This is one thing I notice when I'm walking through, whether it's a major city or, kind of an area like that. I see a lot of us really, we just base our worth on what we have. And how other people view us, and it's not like that at all, you know. I feel that's kind of inauthentic, and it's really about how do you see yourself? How do you look at yourself, you know? Just realize you're more than just this physical body, man. You're more than just this, what your mind, that little monkey mind be telling you. You know, the ego is very tricky sometimes because it'll create this whole false persona, and don't even get me started on the spiritual ego because, that's something else too. You know, you tap into all this quote unquote knowledge and this information, and we start using that to create a persona. You know, we start creating it to be, I'm more spiritual than you. You know, you're too low vibe for me. You know, I feel that's kind of blasphemous a little bit because we should see the reflection in each other. You know, I was listening to this interview with the Buddha. You know, the Buddha says there's one self moving through all beings, all animals, all life. There's one self moving through all of it. You know, this divine intelligence is circulating through all of us. You know, just like the trees all around, there is no separation to it. We are symbiotically connected to it. You know, I'm gonna say it again, nature is you and you are nature. You know, when we connect to nature, we connect to self. So study your universal laws, your natural laws, and let's apply them. I feel a lot of us have the wisdom, the innate self knowledge. That's the only important knowledge there is self knowledge, like Bruce Lee talks about. Study the natural laws, Just like the riptides, the river sways, the pendulum swings. The law of non-resistance, the law of abundance, the law of prosperity, the law of reciprocity, I can give a beautiful analogy right here, just like nature provides us oxygen by the trees, it takes our CO2 and it circulates it. It's always this reciprocity, natural cycle. Excuse the train. But just remember to really ground, do your thing, and it is what it is. We have to just start loving ourselves, guys. It's part of the process. It really is big. It's a big part of the process. Excuse this train. Let's just kind of meditate real quick, kind of simmer it down a little bit. So this, clear. It's a technique I use. Clear, 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 clear. Ground, 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 ground. So just, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax your face, relax it all. And just, enter that present moment, be here now. I highly recommend, the Tao Te Ching, follow the eminence of the way. When we're one with the Tao, we're just one with how it is. Be detached, because we have to experience detachment to know oneness. So remember, what is outside here on the screen, it's all one. It's all one thing. It's all consciousness. So just do your best to remind yourself of that pure awareness. And who you are is the mighty I am. The mighty I am. God is. So when we say I am abundant, we say God is abundance. I am healthy, God is healthy. When they say you are made in thy image, seek first the kingdom of heaven and all that shall be added unto you. There is a parable, there is a metaphor behind it. So just see through the metaphor, see what it is telling you, and feel it in your heart. It's very beautiful. It's very, intrinsic and paradoxical once we see how, the first universal law is the law of interconnectedness. Everything is interconnected. You and I, even though we're not this false I we think we are, we're all one. And the beauty about it is like God's painting the whole thing, but he's giving us a couple paintbrushes to kind of leave our own little mark. Just find the beauty in the present moment. Remember to get back in tune, hug a tree, put your feet in the ground, feet in the dirt, however it serves you, Highly recommend, just tapping into the tree energy. Get back to your roots and realize that you got it. I want you to really love yourself. I want you to work on and being like, I am unconditional love. Because when we look behind all the layers of the ego, superficial, what it is on the outer shell, you are the unconditional love. It's something that ayahuasca showed me a few years ago, I was talking to this spirit, this plant spirit, Mother Aya, however you want to call it. And I asked, what is unconditional love? And I just remember feeling that course through my whole entire being, and it was something I'll never forget. And I'm conveying a message through the message of the plants. This is what kind of got myself on this shamanic journey of really getting in tune, practicing with natural herbs, and realizing that nature holds it all, family. So to smile and feel that reassurance and feel that groundedness that I'm passing on to you through this video, that you are supported, you are worthy, you're safe, and God got you, God got you. Know that. Remember the God within to know the God without. It's always surrounding you, and there's never a moment where God is not with you. And that love you seek is in you. Remember, unconditional love is God. That's the biggest thing that I learned from ayahuasca is unconditional love is God. And if ye are gods, ye are unconditional love too. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's my pleasure. It's an honor to be creative. So remember, express yourself, love yourself, nourish that part of yourself, and keep on keeping. You're doing great. Stay present, taking the beauty, take it all in. Water, sun, earth, ether, fire. Connect with the elements, because that is who you are. Remember to remember. Remember to remember. Unconditional love, straight from the heart, sending it to you. Peace. Good boys. Being good. Being good.